Okay, so today we're going to be doing something a little bit different in the form of a video on Hearts of Iron 4, which, if you don't know, because this is my first video on the game, is a wonderful World War II simulator. There's loads of amazing mods for different periods as well. You have World War One, obviously more mods for World War II as well, and you also have modern day era mods, so that's going a bit off topic. So what we're going to be doing today is playing in the Spanish Civil War, so hopefully quite a short video. I'll see how long this takes, and we're going to be playing as Republican Spain. So yeah, just to make something clear, I'm not very good at this game. I only got it maybe a month or so ago, so still testing things out, but I thought that I might record a video on this. I have done this similar thing before, obviously without recording, and I did win the Spanish Civil War as the Republicans, but it did take a while, and also the Spanish Civil War started incredibly late, like almost, I think it might have been like late 1937, so definitely, from other experiences, from what I can tell, they normally start a bit earlier than that, and you're not as well prepared. So let's see how this goes. It's going to be a tough one. So what we're going to start off with is delete all of our divisions to get their equipment and manpower. I don't know if this method is a little bit outdated. I mean, I've seen other people use it on YouTube. Flawless source of information. So then we're just, so it's going to be very radical. Everything's going to be very streamlined. So we're not going to need any of this. Just realised I'm playing without volume. We're coming back. Anyway, the sound effects aren't the be-all, end-all in this game. I like to play without the volume because the music might get a bit annoying. So we're just going to put everything on infantry equipment. Actually, that's not what I'm going to do. I just remembered. We are going to use the outdated infantry equipment because we can use more of that. So we can produce more of that per day. So that's going to be fabulous. And then we're just going to put some of our dockyards on some convoys because they're pretty cheap. So that's that done. For research, we're going to start off with support weapons 1. It's going to give our infantry bonuses. Construction, production and construction over here. So you know the basic. It's called basic machine tools, but it's to do with production. And there's construction. Okay, so that's that finished. And for our national focus, we're going to go with the political effort. Spain has quite a boring focus tree. I'm not sure if it's even. I don't think it's actually specific to Spain. This seems to be like. I don't know this, but it looks like they just give this focus tree to every single nation that they. I was going to say can't be bothered, but they haven't. I guess they don't need to make a focus tree for El Salvador or something. Well, I guess probably some people play as that, but so for some countries they just. I guess they just have the standard focus tree, which would work for anything, and they're not. It's not specific to any nation. I know that all the majors will have it. So we're just going to build some military factories in some of the areas that are the least vulnerable, because the nationalists will control more territories on the western side. So we're going to try to build up the eastern side. As there's no point building up the other side if we're not going to control it in the Civil War. Oh yes, that reminds me. So what we're going to do now is we got 2 infantry templates. This one's a bit bigger, and it's 16 width, and it also has artillery. So we're not going to be using that. We're going to try to use the basic one instead, which is an infantry brigade. And this one has, I believe, 4 infantry divisions and no artillery, just these engineers. And that would be easier to produce. Just going to max out on these, which I think is 24 divisions. There you go. I can't train anymore, and we're just going to deploy them in Madrid. So that's about it for the start here. I think I've done everything I needed to, and now I'm going to see you when the next major event pops up. So we can deploy these, I think that's an entire army, yeah, 24 units. We can deploy them now in Madrid, so I'm just going to do that. Next thing I'm going to do is make a new army. Effectively done, there you go. Yeah, it's been a little bit slow, sorry about that. Yes, there you go, took long enough. And we'll make a new army group with that. And then I'm just going to make a fallback line somewhere along the border. Somewhere along the border with along the border that is going to be created when the Civil War starts. Because the real problem is when it starts and then you don't have your units in position, you're going to have loads of units dumped on you when the Civil War starts. Not just the ones that you've created while you're controlling the whole of Spain. And while your units are positioning and they're not on the border, the enemy or the nationalists are just going to come in and take vast swathes of land, especially around Madrid. So that's not going to be ideal. So rather than you having to watch the tedious process of me trying to draw this fallback line perfectly and it taking a really long time, I'm just going to cut here and show you the finished product. So see you when that's finished. Okay, so that's about right for the fallback line. I'm just going to let my units roll into position. Obviously, this is too long for now, but when I deploy some new divisions soon, when these guys get enough equipment, obviously not yet, because I just deployed the first batch. And so, yeah, see you then. Okay, so we've got the election of 1936, and we're going to go for maintaining the Popular Front. So I'm just going to have to explain some stuff here. So after you pick if you pick the non-fascist one, which is the first one, after that, firstly, the communist support, but that's a bit irrelevant. The Civil War will start sometime after this, but the problem is we could be here till like 1940s potentially. I don't think that's very likely at all, but maybe a year at least. Though most of the time that I just tested this out, what time will it start? It's maybe like mid-March would be the earliest, and like mid-March to late May is something that we're probably going to have to predict the Civil War starting about then. So quite soon we're going to have to be ready for that. But again, the time I actually played through the entire Civil War, it started in like 1937. So let's see how it works out this time. Obviously, there's pluses and pros and cons rather to both. If it starts earlier, that means I don't have to be here as long. I mean, I could record this over 2 days. If it starts later, then we'll have better divisions and they'll be more prepared. So let's see how it goes.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
Well, this spells out disaster. Clearly, the Civil War has started quite a bit earlier than I anticipated and I prepared for. So I've just deployed all the units that I could, which wasn't a lot. And we are going to pick the Republicans, but before that, I'll just update you on the situation. I went for the industrial effort, and now what we can also do is we have enough to swap straight to... Well, not yet, but when I actually start the war, I'll be able to swap to war economy. Oh, it looks like our lead has changed as well. That's not going to last very long. So yeah, we're going to choose the Republicans. Again, let's see how this goes, because this could be quite disastrous, as I said before, because it started way earlier. So as you can see, these are the territories. This was drawn fairly well. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So what did I want to do? Yes. This is going to be a while. I need to sort everything out here at the start because it's all a bit of a shambles. Let's go for war economy. We have some left over. Ideally, we'd get this infantry. He gives loads of bonuses to my infantry. We'll get him in the high command, but we don't have enough. And we also need to use some political power to get some generals. So out of the this was 24 and 6, out of the 30 divisions that I had, let me just quickly count. I think like 17 of them have disappeared. I think they've gone over to the enemy, which is great. Or not. So, okay, how are we going to sort this out? Now I guess we can just... Well, we'll get rid of the fallback line for one. That's for sure. Don't need that anymore. And we'll set up front line along the border. So as Republican Spain, we have this kind of... Yeah, I guess it is an outpost in the north around Bilbao, the major city up there, which is one of our biggest cities, actually. And this is pretty sad because this normally just gets destroyed, I think. I don't really see a way that we can help these lads stuck here. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to hold and hope that, hold here and hold the line as long as we can. I think I've emphasized that enough. And just try to make sure that he can't deploy the units which are currently dealing with us here in the north to the main front. So basically, we're just going to try to divert his units over here, is what I was trying to say. It took a very long time. So in the north, we'll have an army. I try to make as little armies as possible because currently we have one general, which is also a field marshal, so we're just going to deploy him here. He's got some nice. He's mostly a defensive guy, but you know, why not just deploy him? And then, actually, again, I figure rather than making you look while I tediously make new armies and deploy them to the front line, I'm just going to cut from when I finished sorting all of it out. Okay, so that's that done, and now I need to make some new generals, because that's going to be useful. So they are going to cost political power, but not too much. I'll need at least 3 more. And okay, fairly standard. Somehow I managed to completely mess up some of my armies here, and we've ended up with this guy having to basically being unable to give bonuses for another 15 days because he's en route. And that mechanic exists. So that's going to be annoying. And what's also annoying is why these guys are heading over there. Hopefully that will stop when I unpause. So as you can see, set up the front line, and we're just going to push over there. But the real strategy is going to be to basically take out the south. And how we're going to do that is by, well, I guess eventually if we can kind of split them in 2 here, then they'll get cut off. I guess, well, sort of equal, and then we'll finish them off and sort of it'll continue from there. That's what worked for me last time, but it did take a long time for everything to sort of sort itself out, because at the start you are going to be at a disadvantage. And I guess, again, this is my point. We have a solid 3 or 4 provinces here with no troops in them. Because no matter how hard you try, it's never going to work out. And again, that's going to be really annoying because the nationalists are definitely going to come through here and take all of this. Well, I thought I was, but apparently they're not. I'm just going to send some more divisions over to protect there. And also this guy can go over here. So hopefully that's some damage limitation, if you can call it that. And let's hope all of these troops sort of go into position. Okay, what was I doing with the generals? This is an absolute disaster class. So this is the Northern Army, which is a little less important, perhaps. I'm not sure. I want probably my best men defending Madrid. So I'll then give them this guy because he's got at least that. No, it's only really experience. So it doesn't matter like at all who I assign to this. But I'll just give them this guy. This is going to be my slightly more important army, but I guess it doesn't really matter. And then this is the south. I'll just give them So yeah, it eats a good chunk of my experience. Not experience, my political power, or creating all these new generals. But hopefully they'll get trained up, and by the end of the war, they will be absolutely insane. Okay, so it looks like I've sorted everything out. I'm just trying to think of everything in my head that could possibly go wrong at this point. Still thinking. Okay, I think everything's fine, and everyone seems to be marching into position. So let's see how this goes, because I'm not sure if I said this before, but the Spanish divisions, the nationalist divisions, were both Spanish, I guess, both of the sides in the Civil War. They're going to be fully equipped, and yeah, so that's going to be annoying, because if you look at our divisions, they're not particularly fabulous. Like, as you can see, fairly low equipment. So that's not going to bode well for anyone. I guess especially for us. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to look a bit stupid if we lose this. I'm not sure if I'm going to upload this, but I guess it'll be worthwhile. So let's see how this goes. I think I'm not going to record this all in one take, because that's going to take forever. I'm just going to keep updating you on various situations. So hopefully see you when we're going to be absolutely thumping the nationalists, or vice versa, unfortunately. So I figured it was time for a little bit of an update, and I may be speaking too soon, but it looks like we're past that turning point at which the war has turned, and from here, it's an uphill struggle towards victory, and hopefully we do emerge victorious in the end. I've actually taken this province, so, you know, the first one I've actually taken, and I guess we could encircle this, but let's not aim too high here. What else is new in the situation? Well, I wasted 150 political power to get the infantry general that I was talking about before. So that's nice. And wow, we've nearly finished the industrial effort. I think that might finish while I'm still recording in this little patch. Also, what I've done is, well, I deployed one division over here because it looks like they've just thrown like 7 or something. Okay, well, less than 7, but a good 5 divisions of this province, I guess, because it really opens up Malaga, which is one of my major cities, so I've sort of tried to reinforce that. And other things that I needed to do, oh yeah, I now have 22 army experience, so I can improve my templates. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to 10 width, which is going to make it stronger. I'm going to eat. As you can see, our manpower is shocking. So the first thing I'm going to do when I get 150 political power is to increase our recruitment policy. Because currently, I think it's... I don't know why this doesn't save yet. It's still up there. So currently we're on volunteers only, but I'll change that to... It's just being the most annoying thing ever, this box. I think it's like... yeah, limited conscription. Okay, so that's going to give us 1% more to recruit. Took long enough. And just a quick update on the war. We've got we've got twice the casualties of nationalist Spain. We have a better industry than them, and they have probably more units from what I can tell. So okay, so I think that's going to be about it, you guys. I say this every single time, but whenever anything new happens, I'll tell you that. Yeah, I think I might as well say what focus I'll pick after this, and I think I'll go for the army effort. Oh yes, also the research. I started researching some electromagnetic engineering, so that's going to increase my research speed, and I've gone for mass assault as my army doctrine because okay, there you go. All right, so we might as well do that right now. Go for the army efforts. All right. Okay, fantastic news. Somehow I've managed to take this province, and oh, actually the one before that, it sort of happened in very quick succession. I didn't even realize what was going on. Well, I guess I did. But so on the one hand, we've actually split them in half, which was one of my targets all along. On the other hand, Madrid is still very much threatened over here. They've managed to pour some divisions into here, so it's not looking as good as it did before. It looks like I might have some difficulty trying to take that one back. For now, I'm just going to hold here, and let's see what this encirclement can do. I think I could potentially do a little cheeky encirclement from the back here. I don't think they're going to have any divisions. They potentially just spill into here. Again, I've split them in half, but I haven't consolidated this province at all. I mean, there's literally no units in there, so that could be dangerous. I'll think about that later. Any other situations, because that's it for today's a lot of recordings. The next ones will probably be tomorrow. Other situations, it's still fairly the same over here. I'm not monitoring this as much now. And again, still phenomenal around this area. Potentially, this might be a bit ambitious. Okay, these guys can actually head over here, which was my plan. Potentially, if we can sort of link these up, and then this is no longer encircled, which would be great. These guys, what can I do with them? Well, I can split one of them off to attack here. Yeah, I have quite a lot of units in the north. Maybe I could send some further down. That could be useful. But it's not useful because then I'm leaving this undefended. Okay, so I'll think about that. What about the south? Well, potentially the situation could get much better if I can swing around here. But down here, it's more or less the same. Oh no, oh no. We're going to lose this province. I don't see what I can do, actually. Well, I think I can maybe send this guy really quickly. But this might actually be an even better plan. But I've sort of not really monitored this, and it looks like it's come back to bite me. I'm not sure that I can be there in time. I guess at the end of the day, it's not going to be the biggest disaster ever, but it's going to be a bit annoying. So yeah, that's the situation. I'm pretty happy with the splitting in half, but it's by no means the end. There's still a lot of stuff to be done, and the war could still go either way. Okay, so I just finished editing the video, and the whole thing's come out to be about 50 minutes long, so a little too long for a YouTube video. So what I've decided to do is to split the video into 2 parts, and this is the end of part 1. Part 2 will probably be out Friday night, latest, definitely. And if you enjoyed this part, make sure to leave a like below, subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content, and yeah, see you in part 2. Bye.